And I want to say this to the
YouTube
audience. I made my mistakes. But in all of my years of
grifting,
I have never profited from
racism.
I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of
racism,
I have never obstructed
spear chuckers.
And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of
racism,
that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not they're
grifter, racist.
Well, I'm not a
spear chucker.
He's a smee. He's a smee. He's a smee. He's a smee. Hey.
I live! Yes, I'm alive. Hello and welcome back to Will of the Fans. My name is Will. Woo! See what I did there? And I have taken some drastic measures to make sure that I had my voice in time for tonight's stream. When I wake up, I sound like Satan himself. So I thought, you know, I'll just abuse a few lozenges, a couple of medications, and a fair bit of whiskey to burn the crap off my throat. And so, by the way, I don't recommend doing that. It's only because, you know, YouTube life, it's got to be done if you want to be live.
Clearly, you know, you have to take
unless you have a reason, unless you have a reason that you badly need your voice, you know, just don't do what I did ever. All right, but anyway, of course, it's WTF.
I'm glad I'm not the only one now who's saying, like, don't look at me like a role model, kids. Cautionary tale like this.
Don't do as I say, not as I do.
Right. Don't be me.
Apologies for the shoddy lighting. I've just cobbled together some shit after moving my desk as well. It's been a crazy couple of days here, and you guys are already crazy in the chat. I can see that as well. Our top story tonight, top stories, I should say, tonight is Snow White is toast and Rachel Zegler is the toaster, and of course Nuhre, New Day. I don't know. Got banned for criticizing Bioware's integrity, and then they proved her right by ensuring that a Tranoid simpleton was able to get her banned for saying exactly that stuff. And in Rush News, Mark Hamill has run away to Blue Sky. Bye. Ubisoft wants to hide. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll get into it. Ubisoft wants to hide their player counts. Captain America Brave New World gets a horrible test screening yet again and has to make more changes. And a Hollywood executive has confirmed hatred for all audiences in Tinseltown. Now, that might be stating the obvious, but we'll have fun talking about these things. But of course, before that, I'm joined as always by my cohorts, Mr. Ryan Roger Athe and Mr. Problematic White Guy, aka John. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing very well, Will. My name is Ryan Roger Athe. I'm the host and founder of Reality Based, but you can call me Reality Based Ryan. See what I did there? You see, in a way of reinventing myself, I think I'm going to just nick catchphrases from everyone else. It is great to be here, ladies and gentlemen. This is my day off today. I kind of went nuts yesterday with Bat Sauce. Poor fellow. Great guy, living the American dream.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything, but I was just like at 55, 60% capacity. And it was his first time on. It's getting more difficult, John, to make a good first impression. That's why I need Tangent Kings to carry me now.
Right.
I'm sure we'll have a great show. We're going to talk about
that whole show, not like somebody's gimmick. You nicked that entire concept from
because he couldn't be bothered to make his own show, so I'll just take it. But here's to a great show, folks, and fingers crossed.
I think you made it
We'll
better.
have a great. You can tell he's raring to fucking go and speak his mind. He's talked over you. He's talked over me. Go ahead, John.
I know. Yeah. What's up?
Well, I wasn't talking over you. I was adding. I was like just a little bit of spice. I was embellishing. Like I was giving it like just a little bit of flair.
You see, ever since John went on a certain was showcased on a certain creator's show, he's getting a bit too. That's Hypnotic, by the way. Ever since he was shown on Hypnotic, he's all like, "Ooh, yeah."
No, I don't think. I think I've handled it with some degree of diligence. It was only the other day, but I mean, like I mentioned it to you guys because I thought it was kind of hilarious. Because he's like, we're gonna watch a video of Ryan Roger Athe's channel, and then it ended up being a clip of Will of the Fans, and it was.
And John was the one talking.
I'm the one who was talking throughout the entire thing, which.
That's the perfect dichotomy of our little relationship that we have here. It's like it's labeled as a Ryan thing, but it's actually hosted by me, and John is the one talking. Perfect.
That's right.
Perfect.
That's
what you get when you come here. Related to Ryan's channel. But how you doing, John? You okay, man? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm awesome as always. I honestly feel like I'm just literally this close away from like kind of getting the shit out of my path and like actually like being able to like let loose on some creativity. How that's going to happen, I'm not quite sure, but I have good faith and like, a belief that this is just right around the corner. So let's hope that I'm not being completely deluded and it actually comes to fruition. And we're only dealing with me being a dot on, a square for a couple of weeks. But, things seem
so
really.
You're going to improve your tech setup, basically.
That's the idea.
Fantastic.
I've got ideas.
Get it done, man. Get it done. Even if you have to.
Definitely. I make sure everybody misses my beautiful beaming smile. Right.
No, it's more that Giga Chad chin. That's
very true. It does kind of pronounce itself, but.
Also, on that note, though, the picture that you actually have is very difficult to make out on a live stream. It'd be way better if you just had a picture of your avatar or something.
Let me see.
Right now, it just looks like a very blurry landscape or something.
Let me see if I can make anything of that happen then.
There you go.
But yeah, let's press on and I'll see what I can do in this regard.
All right, buddy. Well, we have got a lot to get into, but of course, I want to shout out the chat as well. Who have we got here right now? Well, obviously, the mods are here. TJAP Steve is here. I certainly know that much. And Eris Rhoda is here, of course, as well. Who else do we see? Let's scroll through a few names. Wow. Well, a lot of them have just recently gone green.
There's Young John.
Oh, there you go. And it's animated too. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well
so
done.
Creepy.
Well,
Oh, Lady Eric D got a membership back. That's nice. Jack's here. Geek Galactica Lone Wolf Peter G. T. Wow, that's a interesting one. Divining Dragon always here. Tomby's here. Lovely Bishop's opening is here as well, of course, from a point of view. Hello. Nice to see you again. Who else? Well, I can only see John now because he just spams the chat in the run up to him. Mud Crab is here. And speaking of Mud Crab, Mud Crab has already done the unthinkable and given us a $5 Aussie dose, mate, for this particular super chat. Says, what is worse, losing voice to illness, considering buying a Jag as your next car, or having never watched Red Dwarf?
God damn.
gotta be,
two.
Come out of my nose.
it's gotta be. I mean, Jags are still good cars. You might get called, certain British cigarette names
Yeah,
for.
the worst of those things is never having watched Red Dwarf.
It's got to be having not ever watched
Yeah,
watched
Red
Red Dwarf.
Maggie.
I think the DVDs are really almost within reach of me actually right now because I had to move my desk back a bit to make room for a sofa bed so that I can actually catch up on sleep, without the sub 1-year-old waking me up every time I try to take a nap because I'm up late doing this show and I get up early to accommodate them. And then ultimately I end up absolutely fucking knackered with a twitchy eye and getting the flu. So Mrs. was like, well, I'm going to buy you a Christmas present, but you're going to have to come with me to actually buy it. Oh, okay. What is it? It's a sofa bed. All right. Sounds solid. Whatever. I could rig a TV up in here too and have a little gaming lounge.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Just got to force my desk into the corner a bit to do it. But hey, whatever. It works. Still, all of these things, getting sick, losing my voice for a day and a day and a half. And then, also as bad as Jag is, nothing is as bad as never having watched Red Dwarf, Ryan. Your thoughts? Oh, sorry, your statement before trial begins.
Nah.
Dude, stop being a pussy and just watch Red Dwarf.
I tried. It's not
He's
an
tried
engaging show.
You're full of shit, you absolute muppet. You need to start watching from like series 3. I told you. It's fucking classic.
Just find an induction point, get into it. Once you actually feel the vibe, then
Don't
go
watch
back
it.
to the beginning. You don't have to.
1 and
be
2
timey
like
wimey.
way later. You've seen episode 1. That's enough to tell you what's going on. Now just skip to like series 3, series 4, or series 5. 5 is probably the best bet actually if you really need, you're happy, ha ha la la, every 5 seconds it's a laugh kind of thing. But really I'd say go to series 3 because that's where the writing starts to get really tight. Really
Do we
good,
need to
really
do group watch-alongs? Would that help?
Yeah, let's. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll set that up. We're gonna have to drag you over this shit, right? And you can review Red Dwarf for your channel. There you go.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll just watch Red Dwarf and then you can use it as content. There's I'll make you a fucking offer you can't refuse, you bastard.
Well, yeah, we'll make it so that you can record it while we're just doing the live watch. And then we'll make it kind of like EFAP. We'll throw some overlays and whatnot, and then there you go. There's a whole new thing that you can do once a week without even trying.
Don't buy a Jaguar, ladies and gentlemen. Can we move on?
You'll never be free of this, Ryan. Anyway, TJAP Steve then chimed in for 10 Willa fans membership. Wow. Before the show has even begun, my goodness gracious me. Thank you, TJAP Steve. More green for princess and hypothetical future extra human child ads. Well, I'd say it sounds kind of gay. I was thinking.
You sound like you're underwater again.
Oh,
yeah. Diving deep.
It's only within 5 seconds of the aftermath of the music playing.
So I just have to stay quiet and hope it all syncs up. This is getting late.
Kinda.
Hi, Grant.
We are joined at this time by
Hello.
Mr. Grant Gregory. How are you, sir?
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Doing good. Happy
Or
to
good
be
evening,
here and
depending on your
let's
part of
talk
the world.
some interesting stuff.
Let's do that. We've lingered far too long on intros. So we will do it. And of course, that begins with Rush News, which will obviously never live up to its actual name. And that is the move. I really should have made that longer because it always catches me off guard. The first thing I wanted to talk about today, gentlemen who are not here, I'm the only one on camera, but okay.
I'm writing down the.
I'm kind of on camera, but not. It's
That's
better
all good
than it
news.
was. Yeah.
Well, our dear friend Mark Hamill, who we all once sided with against Disney and Rian Johnson and what they did to Luke Skywalker, has proven himself over the last couple of years to be a monstrous beta cuck pussy ass leftist psycho TDS suffering twat. Yes. And
Don't sugarcoat it. Tell us how you feel.
Yeah. I mean, can you really be more disappointed? They say you should never meet your heroes, but is there anyone whose hero isn't Luke Skywalker? You know, I mean, like it's designed to be the everyman hero of the monomyth. You know, the space of every
He went
story
from desolation to like to the very realm of the Empire, like the throne room, and
it's the most disappointing thing you can possibly imagine to discover that Mark Hamill is still V1 Luke Skywalker living on Tatooine and whining with his impotent rage about not getting what he wants.
Yeah,
that's who Mark Hamill actually is. He's Luke Skywalker. He wants to go to Tashi Station and vote for Joe Biden, but unfortunately, that's not an option anymore. You know, he wants to pick up some power converters. Oh, God, my voice. You know what I mean? That's who Mark Hamill actually still is.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable that you could go through the experience of playing Luke Skywalker and learn fucking nothing about manning up. It's unbelievable. And to such an extent, by the way, that he can't even hang with us on X anymore. He actually quit. I mean, he first his side lost the world, and quite rightly so, because they were going all over just celebrating degeneracy, more or less, in favor of that rather than economic growth and things that make sense. And then they lost, so we were all waiting for Mark to go on some massive spurg out, but apparently he's self-aware enough to know that would just be a fodder for 1 billion YouTube videos. So he quietly changed his background from Walls Harris or whatever, Harris Walls, to just some stars on X, and then fucking Amsgrade, and showed up on the echo chamber equivalent of X, which is called Blue Sky. How much did you guys know about Blue Sky? Because I've actually made an account on there now.
As little as possible.
Evidently, it has a pretty high rate of cannibalism in terms of these people are going at, since they don't have an opposition and they constantly must seek to be disappointed. They're eating each other now, which is great.
No, it's legitimately great. I created an account, and like Twitter, you don't follow anyone automatically. You just go in there, you look for whatever's trending, because it literally looks exactly like Twitter. There's literally no difference. You got the hashtags, you got the @ symbols, and all
apart from the way that they get their names, where it's like dot this at dot
Blue
that.
Sky and everything.
Yeah. Other than that, it's a carbon copy of Twitter. Yeah. And it's fun.
I searched for terms like not woke and unbiased and everything like that. And then as soon as someone said they had an unbiased opinion, I said, okay, so if Hitler was here, you'd do this. And then apparently people would just pile on and do that. So I'd do it unironically as a joke, and then people would pile on top.
That's brilliant. That's fantastic. I just go in and I just snipe people, I'm just this random account they don't know anything about, and I'm just like, here's the logical fallacy in your entire argument, and then I get 200 fucking angry replies. It's brilliant.
Don't search for the word logical. It actually gets banned.
Exactly.
Rage, something useful.
It's a true echo chamber.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have a discussion about what good that is.
It was the same thing of Trump's thing. Trump's social media. It's just the opposite equivalent.
Yeah,
they
it's
both
pure
leftism for the same reason. Yeah.
Did you see the thing about how their logo, the butterfly, is evidently? I have to do a little bit more investigating just to verify, but according to the thing,
it's clearly an occult symbol of evil and should be exposed.
Right.
But what I've heard, yeah. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on.
Carry on, John.
And kind of treating kids in a very uncouth manner.
The whole thing surrounding Blue Sky is absolutely insane, and that's why personally I'm going to stay away from the platform. I mean, almost every, if not every, attempt to out Twitter, now it's known as X, has been a failure in one way, shape, or form. And I think it's absolutely fantastic that a celebrity is taking a step away from social media, because I don't believe in the concept of a celebrity in the 21st century, because it used to be something exclusive. Now it's inclusive. Anyone can be a celebrity, for better or for worse. That bitch, that AstroTurf bitch that said "Whack tur," turned into a fucking celebrity like that, and she wouldn't even praise the guy that interviewed her, supposedly. So I think it's great for celebrities to not be on social media, especially actors and actresses. And
perhaps maybe we should just call them celebritards
at
this point in time. There is no celebrity, there's just celebritards.
The entire myth of celebrity was only built up in the first place by the fact that we had no access to them. That is the entire reason. It's like you have the Olympic pantheon, you know, they exist. You got your Zeus and Hermes and all of them fuckers, and then you're like, well, that's what they are. They're just better than us. They're the gods. They're the best of us. They've achieved this great, wonderful life. They must be so capable and so imaginative and so creative. And then what happens is, instead of hanging out on Olympus, away from where anyone can see them, they decided to go live amongst the people. And very quickly, we realized that they're the more flawed of any of us.
Right. Yeah. If you want anybody to actually, if you want anybody that falls under that category as celebrity, you'd have to go back to like the 1960s, I think.
Hey, Grant, good luck talking over John.
Best of luck, mate.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. My apologies. You know.
Oh, no, that's right. I was just going to make a really, thought-provoking point, but someone stopped me from doing. I'm not mentioning any names. No, I was making a joke. When you said there wasn't a celebrity until then, I said no, there was MacGyver. And like, how dare you forget MacGyver? Like, how dare you?
MacGyver. No one over the age of 70 has ever forgotten MacGyver. No, but I mean, look,
there was Matlock and there was Quincy. That's it. They're the biggest celebrities that have ever happened.
Hey, don't forget Rockford Files. That was
don't forget MacGruber.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. I was just like,
who are any of these people?
This is like a time before like you were even. This might
Ryan, have you ever watched like early Simpsons?
No. Your parents might have even been kids.
You've never watched early Simpsons?
Well, no, not the earliest stuff. No.
Ryan is the closest person that looks like Columbo, who probably doesn't even know who he is.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Columbo.
You ever watched Perry Mason?
Look at him.
Nope.
Damn,
weird.
Damn.
You're missing out.
Matlock was a joke because the only person who ever heard of it in The Simpsons was Grandpa Simpson. So you would have known that if you had watched the best of The Simpsons, which you clearly
or you cared about justice in the late 80s, early 90s.
But then who cares what he thinks? He hasn't seen Red Dwarf. So anyway, no. And not actually wishing to give Mudcrab any more ammunition against me or anyone else here, but I actually think that having an account on Blue Sky is so fucking hilarious because everybody there is under the misapprehension that nobody else there is a right wing or central right, because I'm more like center right libertarian. And
no, you're not.
So, well, I am a bit, although I'm getting more and more right and less libertarian as the fucking war goes on, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all, actually. I'm quite enjoying it as I get older and older and older. But the point is that they think they're safe there. So it's a bit like being a straight dude in a gay bar full of hot bitches who think they're safe because they're in a gay bar. So there you go. Right out of nowhere, there you are with your pew logical facts and common sense, and then they just don't know what the hell because they weren't expecting to ever see that on Blue Sky. And someone who definitely wasn't expecting to see it is Mark Hamill. Because of course, go on.
I was gonna say the funny thing about this is like we've gone on this merry-go-round ride a few times over. Like wasn't it Mastodon and Threads and fucking like
are these Power Rangers?
Yeah, well, they might as well be, but they're former, X alternatives that people had used at various points in time. Like, oh, I'm gonna disappear to like fucking, like I said, it used to be Mastodon. I remember that definitely being one. Threads was another thing, and then I think that there was even Substack. I'm gonna get a Substack free account. You can find me that. Like. We just keep regurgitating the exact same pointless thing, and then they come back
desperately looking for, because so this is the funny thing about it, right? Trump created Truth Social. Nobody really uses it, but we all appreciate Trump anyway.
Right.
And he created it because at the time it was impossible to get a word in against the overwhelmingly, manufactured algorithm of pure unbridled leftism and censorship going on Twitter. So you couldn't say anything, and he got banned.
A public company banned the sitting president of the country that they're in. Yeah.
That is what happened. Yeah, that's a thing. That's history right there. But the point is that he was banned, and he created Truth Social in response to that. But that was the point then, and the point now is the mirror image almost. The only way it would be a true, complete mirror image is if Elon Musk had, built an elaborate framework in alliance with various organizations to ensure only the most far right shit is ever seen on Twitter. Then it might make some actual sense for all these celebrities to leave and go and join other platforms. But the difference here is they are just faced with an even playing field.
Right.
They're not.
Well, no. They're faced with an absolutely even playing field. That's the problem.
Yes, exactly. That's what I said. They're faced with They're not faced with overwhelming bias like we all had to endure on Twitter for years and years and years. And thus did Trump get banned and create Truth Social. They're running off to Blue Sky so that they can run from the truth.
Right.
The actual unbiased, unedited, unfiltered. Well, as
dude,
far as
it
we
makes
know,
so much
unfiltered.
sense. They've got their heads in the cloud, blue sky.
Right,
I mean, you couldn't script it any better. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah, it really should be called like cloudy skies, shouldn't it? Because they are burying their heads.
Look at this image, folks. Look at this image as a thumbnail to a video. I think it's a short. The guy looks like he shat himself in the middle of a press conference.
Which is funny because he was in the process of calling Joe Biden Joby-1 Kenobi, which correctly is pointed out here as the most cringe-inducing moment since Pokemon Go to the polls.
Dude, it was prophetic. He got cut down before his time. And somehow, right now, Joe Biden is more powerful than he's ever been.
And then they all got replaced by a woman who failed to achieve anything.
Yeah, so I guess maybe he's on to something here. Maybe we judged him too. No, we didn't judge him harshly enough. But
now, fuck Biden, and also fuck Hamill. It's pathetic. He's run away, and he says, now that I've fled, he says Leon, but I'm sure he means Elon's sight for bluer skies. I'm sure I'll be called an XX, but personally, I'll always consider myself a Twitter quitter. So you're also denouncing history and other facts. You won't even call it X. You're just going to continue to live.
Why do you have to be such a grumpy cunt?
Blue skies. What do blue skies actually represent? Clarity, openness, the open atmosphere before you is a blue sky. That's why we think it's beautiful and we're attracted to it because we're born on this planet. And when we can't see the sky, when we can't see the stars for clouds, murk, muck, smog, pollution, whatever, those are all bad things. This is not an accurate fucking metaphor for where they are actually going. Where they're actually going is underground.
Yeah. It's the furthest thing from any sky. Like, you talk about incel activity, like,
they should call it brown mantle or something like, or mud pit or something, just back into the earth you go, you fucking bottom feeding basic bitches.
Beta slope.
I keep saying get in the sea, but that's effectively what they've done.
Yeah.
They've run away.
The monetization requirements on Blue Sky?
I have no idea. Is there even monetization?
I don't know that there is. There's.
I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking in my mind.
The celebrities are going to love it because then they can do it.
There are plans for monetization. As per Blue Sky CEO Jay Graber. I don't know. As of 6 days ago, it's a plan in place. So no, currently
the ex-Twitter executive.
Apparently,
yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. No. Grabber is his middle name. His real name is Jay Grabber by the Pussy. But
Indeed.
De la pousse. Well, fair
it's
enough.
French makes sense.
Anyway, Hamel's a cuck. He's a loser. And I don't know what a starter pack is. Does anyone know what a starter pack is on Blue Sky? Because I just signed up. I didn't know there were.
Do they just give you a free copy of I'm not.
Does this mean like? Is this like when you sign up?
It must be
Twitter?
like, all right, you know, like when you go to My Locals and it recommends like, here's 10, 15 people that you should like, you know,
Right,
possibly
yeah.
be following. That's probably.
But that's not a starter pack, is it? I mean, it's like when you sign up for Twitter and it's like, please choose, you know, X amount of topics that you're interested in. And some people here that you maybe you want to follow. So I guess that's what you're talking about, but I don't know what the fuck he means by
starter pack. Is an already curated feed. So if you want to feed into a certain one, you can go, I'm going to be a part of this, which means that I'm going to get,
like,
you know, your For You, your likes and everything. You're automatically subbed to a certain amount of people. You're going to get that's what it is.
Jesus Christ. So basically, when Mark Hamill joined Blue Sky were like, yeah, we got the hamster. Let's fucking have it. Let's put him on everybody's starter packs. And it's like, okay, yeah, you got one of the biggest purveyors of misinformation and fear mongering in the entire celebrity sphere, and you're proud of it.
Well, I clicked the sign up thing for it because I wanted to experience the entire package, and I got Babylon Bee the Onion as a part of my starter package. Yeah.
Nice.
So someone called Tim Pool was also there. So
some guy with a beanie. Yeah.
No. He's a tall black man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Different.
Never sings bad country songs, no? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. So that's the starter pack then. He says, thanks to everyone, including me, in so many starter packs. That said, I'm still in a state of shock. Of course you are, dear boy. Trying to process what happened to our country since the election. Well, not much has happened yet.
Yeah,
it's mostly been the threat of things happening.
A couple weeks have gone by.
That's what I like about the people that are saying the country's gone to shit since Trump got elected. I'm like, but he's got zero power at the moment.
Power, yeah.
Yeah, like it's
still Biden.
Especially when this is the thing that I always don't like about the American system, like with a lame duck presidency. Like if we know that the president is no longer going to be in there, and you get someone that gets voted, get him in there. Get him in there in November.
Yeah, I think it's too long. Certainly, having like 2 months to wait.
How do I fuck up everything in 2 months? How do I?
Well, I mean, that is basically what's happened. If you look at Keir Starmer lobbying Joe Biden and ICBMs launched into Russia, let's provoke World War III and then blame it on Trump.
The moment that Joe Biden was no longer on the ticket is when it should have changed. That's what I don't like. It doesn't make any sense. You've now got a quarter of the year.
So you're saying he should have stepped down immediately, resigned, and let Kamala be president?
No. I'm saying what happens is if the person is going to, the president, as we know it, is no longer going to be running next time.
Yeah.
They need to step down when a new president is elected, because that's a lame duck.
Yeah. I mean,
right. You're saying if somebody has already basically, the lame ducks are stupid. They are stupid.
They are, but you know,
I don't like about it.
But they always fuck shit up. That's the problem.
Let's remember that this whole convention came into existence at a time when the United States was a United State and hung together and wasn't split down the fucking middle, and that's why it looks alien to us Brits and Australians, because as soon as the election ends, the transfer of power is done very quickly. Of course, different countries, different setups. I know it sounds foreign to us, but the Americans, they make it work for them.
Yeah, that, and to be quite honest, like, you know, like, have you ever moved? Have you ever done any, like, there's shit.
Have I ever moved?
Right. Well,
no.
I know you have, but I'm just saying, it's like, you know, there's some, right. But you know, it's like, it's a couple of weeks. It takes some time to like get some shit in order. You know, like we've all been there. There's fallow periods.
It takes a while. Yeah. But he should assume power within a month. within a month of the election results.
It's not even in the same calendar year.
I mean, we do it. Well, the way we do it is immediate, right? It happens like immediately when someone gets elected. They are.
Dude, in the country that he's in is very corrupt. They try and hold on the power and they can't.
I mean, basically, all they would have to do is say that, you know, America now answers to Trump instead of Biden, and then the destructuring of that administration and the replacement by the other administration could take place under the name and power and executive authority of Trump.
Although I'll say this much, like, you know, because it's a long-standing tradition, at this point in time, they've tried to, you know, undo so many things that were part of the actual system that, you know, we were all supposed to kind of abide by and actually like be parties to in supposedly good faith. Yeah. You know, like there's no reason to just kind of like pour on more, you know, like there's already this hotbed of emotion that's going on. Like, give these people like a little bit of time so they aren't at the height of their insanity.
But it hasn't always been that way.
I understand, but it hasn't always been that way. But that's the thing, is like, just because it's that way now doesn't mean that we should change, you know, policy or this or that just because, you know, because
that's right, Mud Crab. Blame the French. Blame the French.
Like, anything that you may appreciate about like your political party's kind of like, you know, unlocks and, you know, their achievements, you have to remember that at some point in time, no matter how much you know, may think it won't ever happen, like the opposition will have, you know, control of those same kind of, you know,
man, I should have made this a main topic, shouldn't I? We need to move on, guys. Wrap it up.
But anyways, yeah.
All right. So I'll say one last thing. The main issue that I have with the whole thing is that it used to be that it took so long for the Electoral College to make their decision. That's why it would take so long. Now it's on the same night. So if how it's worded is when the Electoral College has it, that's the point. Why is it still January 20th? Or,
I mean, it's a holiday season. You know, like I said, it's just one of those things. Like, there's weird, stupid shit in every form of governance. If you take
it's tradition. What's wrong with tradition? Yeah. Come on.
It's a new year. Give it time. Like, you know,
whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as nobody kills Trump in the next month, then we're all right. That's basically all.
This is how much we hate Mark Hamill, folks. He stopped being a topic of.
He's not even he's not even relevant. Once again, Mark Hamill has only served to produce more hype for Trump.
Exactly.
And there you go. There's your ending of this topic. We'll move on. We've got to talk about some other stuff too. So we will be moving on immediately, John, to Ubisoft, who is an old perennial adversary of this show, one that we have discussed on many occasions, and now it's getting pathetic. The company that once told us we had to get comfortable not owning our games realized a long time ago that we had got comfortable not owning their games. And now they are so weak, so cucked, so pathetic that they can't actually allow people to see the actual player counts of their games.
Right. But the great thing about what they want is they're in the cuck chair on this kind of desire. To try to get Valve to like, please, would you maybe just throw us, you know, like this, you know, this indulgence? Why does Valve's a privately owned company? They could, you know, they have no reason, like they partner with Ubisoft. Why? Because what's Ubisoft going to do? We're not going to put our games on your platform. Okay. And then they're going to sell even less because have you ever used Ubisoft Connect? It's one of the most piece of shit kind of, you know, like in terms of a game portal kind of platform space, it's one of the worst. So they either have to like, you know, like eat crow and just kind of deal with this for what it is.
So it turned out a while ago that they decided that they had more or less come to terms with the fact that nobody wants to play their games anymore. They are looking at some seriously pathetic numbers. We didn't actually really get to talk about it very much, but when Star Wars Outlaws came out on Steam recently, it was humiliated with some truly pathetic player numbers for an Ubisoft Quad A mainstream Star Wars tie-in bounty hunting simulator. Less than 3,000 people playing it. Fucking abysmal.
Oh yeah. No wonder they want to hide it. I mean, you never want to showcase your failures, folks,
right?
Especially from a mega corp in the gaming space that is It's sinking.
No, yeah,
It's the Titanic of gaming. God,
it's EA versus Ubisoft in the race to be the worst cunts in gaming. Just absolutely in every possible setting. Go on, man.
This is
I can
the
hear
difference,
you
though.
champing at the bit. Come on.
Yeah, well, it's like all right. So this happened in movies. You know, before Rotten Tomatoes became complete and utter, you know, just a shill site for the corporations that, you know, kind of make these back end deals. You know, like the exact same thing happened in movies. And so corporations were like, hey, we don't want to like have this bad press. Can you find a way to like, you know, adjust and massage the ratings and things like that so we don't have to like be so embarrassed. Right? But Valve is not some, you know, site that's trying to get access. Valve is a integral part of the game industry. It is the platform. So
I'd rather play on Valve on Steam now than I would on PlayStation. And I was a PlayStation boy for years.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like Ubisoft can get fucked in this whole entire situation and just learn to deal with. Actually, they won't get fucked. They can get cucked and sit there in their chair and just watch the show play out in front of them because they don't have any room to stand on. They don't have any leverage here. It's not like Valve is like, oh, you make us so much money. Their games are abysmal shit. So what are they going to do? We're going to take our games off your platform. Okay. And, you know, we'll have more hard drive space for other games.
Ooh, a box.
Yeah, my PS2 box. Yeah, I just realized it's old fucking school, heavy original. Too. It must be. Yeah, and my PS3's down here too, and my fucking Mega Drive as well. Let's see as well. I can reach them now. That's interesting. But yeah, so Ubisoft now is so tired of being humiliated every day that they've decided they want to control what you can actually see, which of course is censorship, which of course is pattern of leftism. Sore losers effectively. That's basically what we've been dealing with since Gamergate 1. Anyway, this insider that came out from Ubisoft allegedly alleged that their efforts here are tied to the underwhelming sales figures, with Star Wars Outlaws reportedly failing to reach 2 million copies sold, a massive shortfall given Ubisoft's own admission that AAA games require significant sales to recoup costs, upwards of 4 to 5 million to even break even. And thank you to Smash JT for covering this for us, because it actually was kind of hard to find a coherent article summarizing all of this. Have you guys noticed how many videos I have been able to get out of Mark Alexis Cote recently? This fucking guy, he opened his cave and revealed absolutely everything. His mouth is like Alyssa Mercante's fufu. It never closes. It's fucking unreal.
I'd expect nothing less from a pretentious French prick.
But the thing is, he even said the other day that he confessed that they don't know how to reach gamers. Like, I feel like this guy is like he's realized that he's on the ship that just hit the fucking iceberg.
Oh yeah,
and now he's like blaming the captain. Like, I feel like he's trying to save his own worthless ass.
Oh yeah, he wants his golden parachute probably at this point. Like, there's no way that
he'll jump ship. He'll Sony or something before the end of the year.
Yeah,
next year.
But
you know. But anyway, I mean, so he's been saying a lot of crazy
Ubisoft
crap.
Is so.
Yeah, he's having technical issues.
Yeah, okay.
Carry on.
So
I was having
anyway,
technical issues. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll just carry on. It says the other thing that he came out with the other day was the quote that it takes 10 million copies sold for a game to break even. And I was questioning this when I was reading it. Like, really? 10 million per game? Because I thought maybe he meant, the way he phrased it, maybe he meant like all three of the games that they were selling this year needed to combine to break 10 million. But nah, he meant 10 million each. In fact, he said give or take 2 million in this quote. So we're looking at a range of 8 to 12. Now, obviously, if you are a knowledgeable human being, then you are going to realize immediately that when he says give or take, he means give. He means you really need to sell 12 million copies, and 10 is conservative as an estimate.
Which isn't easy. And only the best of games can get that kind of sales figure. And that, talking about that internationally, I mean, some games and some companies do better based on, of course, the quality of the product, but also where they're located. It's far easier to get a great gaming success in places like China, because the population is so much bigger. That means a wider consumer base. Whereas if you want to release a game, based in Europe or the United States, even if it's without the mind virus, and the consumer base, unfortunately, is getting smaller over time as more and more people they're just like, to hell with this. I'll go into another domain. And looking at Ubisoft, if it takes 12 million copies sold of a product for it to be a success for you, no wonder you're bleeding out financially.
Right.
Look at this. It's the list of the best-selling video games of all time. Obviously, Minecraft, 300 million. Grand Theft Auto 5, 205 million. That's insane. Wii Sports, 82.9, but that came bundled with the console. PUBG, Mario Kart 8, 72 million, nearly 73 million. Red Dead Redemption 2. Wow, that is actually up there. I didn't know that was going to be as high as that. Super Mario Brothers, okay, blah, blah, blah. Nintendo, Activision, Blizzard,
Hogwarts
Diablo
Legacy.
3. Hogwarts Legacy is up there with 30 million, tied with Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Diablo 3. Go on.
I was just going to say, these are, for the most part, great exceptions to the rule. It's like the Pareto principle or the pyramid, folks. I mean, the best of the best get to the top of the tree in that respect. Elden Ring, 25 million, Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know if this includes, re-releases. I think for Minecraft,
it does.
Yeah, it's like when they say multi-platform, they're taking into account like net sales.
Yeah. By the way, do you know what I just realized while you guys were chatting? I was looking through this at publishers and developers, and I was going down. You got Mojang, of course, Rockstar, Nintendo, Rockstar, Nintendo Blizzard, Nintendo CD Projekt.
Yeah, you don't see
Nintendo, Warner Brothers, Activision, Blizzard. There is no Ubisoft on this list.
No,
right?
Once.
No Bioware as well, because their most successful game in sales was Inquisition, Dragon Age.
Right, which also did about 10 to 12 million.
I think it was 14 million copies sold.
And the only reason that did as well as it did is because they hadn't released a game in that series for 5 years, and they hadn't released a game 4 years.
3-4 years.
3-4 years, whatever. And they hadn't. They also, there was hunger for it. There was an enormous goodwill towards Bioware, despite Mass Effect 3 kind of shitting the bed a bit at the end.
He's
saying that every single game they release needs to be one of the most anticipated games of all time, with the most white pill goodwill around the company and the franchise ever, in order for it to actually sell a respectable enough amount for them. What a fucking mess this industry is.
Impossible. It's absolutely impossible for Ubisoft to make that.
To get 25,000 views on every single video that I release with a sub base of 9.7.
Right. Well, just looking at the base math that we have here, not even like the super extended, but like, so 10 million at $70, it's $700 million, right?
Yeah.
So maybe
actually, that would split across 3 games. That would actually make a profit, because it wouldn't make a profit.
No, what I'm saying is
Skull and Bones was 400.
Right.
We don't know exactly what the budget were for the other 2, but they can't be far off it.
Right. And so what they're basically saying is just to barely scrape by and get a little bit over the cost of
1.2 billion
and marketing, so 12 million is really what it takes to hit profitability.
No, 1.2 billion.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. And so like that's the thing. It's like, how much money are they putting into initial development, into marketing, to know that they have to clear $700 million just as a rule? And this is what they bring for, how they're actually assuming anybody's gonna, like, it is laughable to how, I don't even know how anybody could think, oh yeah, we're definitely going to get nearly $1 billion on every game that we release throughout the year that are high profile titles. You think you're that good when you've never achieved that even once in all this history of, the 25 best-selling games of all time, and you're not even on there once? And now you're talking about like we're going to be doing this 3 times consecutively in a row.
It's very hard to I'm sure we can all agree. I mean, the list we just saw was, I think, 20 million sales plus, and Nintendo was on that a lot because, well, they literally have their own platform. They don't rely much on third parties, so they have to shoot for the moon in that respect. But it is very, very difficult to get a very financially successful game, even if that game is a great game. I mean, you look at various examples. No Ubisoft game was on there. There have been plenty of Ubisoft games that are great games. None recently, but there have been. Same applies to BioWare. I mean, their biggest games, Mass Effect 3 and Dragon Age Inquisition, not on that list. There are plenty of examples of fantastic games that don't sell insanely well. I mean, we're talking 20 million plus copies here, but in regards to 10 million plus copies sold, that's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not possible to do for each project.
Right. It's far more likely for a good game to undersell than it is for a shit game to oversell.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. These are exactly the kinds of things that happen all the time. But, I mean, ultimately, they are not going to achieve this. They're never going to achieve what they are looking at, and throwing more money at it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because of two unique qualities to Ubisoft, which are A, not being able to read their audience whatsoever. We've seen this. They seem to have absolutely no idea what's going on with gamers. There was even a quote from the same fucking guy the other week saying they don't know anything about gamers, don't know how to reach gamers, and that is Ubisoft, right? They don't have apparently any competent marketers working for them. And the other one is, of course, just regurgitating the same properties over and over and over and over again with minor technical increases in quality, but mired by really mercenary fucking monetization practices. Then you throw into that the wild card of DEI, which Ubisoft has completely and totally and fully embraced, and we can see
Far
that
more than anyone
more
else.
clearly than than anyone else. We've seen, of course, that most of the alums of Sweet Baby Inc. and their fucking freaky podcasting background came from Ubisoft. So this is actually the epicenter of a lot of this bullshit. So you add together the factors of too much money in, not being able to read your audience, not being able to come up with any new ideas, and just regurgitating the same thing over and over again while increasingly adding predatory monetization practices, and then the absolute bullet to the skull of DEI, and you have got a dying, if not already dead, company.
Don't forget also a very adherent kind of desire to make everything about climate change initiatives, which are directly put into practice by the WF and the United Nations, specifically utilizing Ubisoft as basically their publishing wing for trying to set up globalist corporatism endeavors that like the whole idea of like you're gonna own nothing and be happy. Like this is their model. Like,
well, they got to sell out because conventionally, John, they're not making a profit, so they've got to get funds from somewhere in order to survive and sustain.
Right.
That's why they sold their souls to the woke devil.
Right.
Who looked like a Bond villain.
Very true. And that's what I'm saying is like, if it weren't for this high level of corporatist globalism greed behind it, this NGO based kind of, we're going to take over the world through, malfeasance and the backdoor trading and everything else that we do, this would not even be a thing,
Well, these insane expectations, John, combined with the fact that the solution to this problem for Ubisoft is to not fix things on the home front, it's to cover up the failure, should tell us everything we need to know. They have insane expectations. They have insane targets that cannot be reached, even under the best case scenario of the game not only functioning, but doing well. It won't do either in any case for any of their projects. And we saw that in the attempt to censor, to hide. Right. And that's the point of no return.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Right.
They've been platformed
Time
for
to
years
move
by
on.
this shit. But anyways, yes.
Yeah, it's fucked. I don't think it'll work, by the way, just for the record, while we're still on the
Sure,
subject.
sure.
It will not work because if they try to push Steam, Steam will tell them to fuck off. And if they don't sell on Steam, they won't actually be relevant in 5 years. So there's that. But in the meantime, we need to move on because this interesting little nugget has come to my attention. And that is that a former executive of Amazon and Disney has affirmed that Hollywood has contempt for the audience and hostility toward white people and men. Now, obviously, you and I all know this to be true already. This is fucking entry level red pill stuff. You know, you don't need to have even watched The Last Jedi to be able to tell this kind of stuff now. But it is interesting to see it coming from an insider. And the article claims that Amazon Video and Amazon Studios founder and Disney executive Roy Price has lampooned Hollywood for having contempt for the audience and hostility towards white people and men in a recent article posted to his own Substack, titled "Woke is the New Disco." Price blasted the current Hollywood elite for living within an America that exists mainly in Hollywood HR departments, Columbia's faculty lounge, and at CNN and MSNBC, soon to be XNC or something like that.
You know, I think disco's more redeeming than woke. Go ahead, Ryan.
Will, just imagine being Elon's little kiddo X and realizing, oh, this social media platform has the same name as me. Oh wait, so's this news channel. Why is everything named after me, Dad? Why?
He's just really
It's like they're not named after you. You're named after them.
Yeah, well,
his name isn't just X though, is it?
Yeah, it's X. No, it's a couple of numbers.
Weird kind of. Yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah, A12 or something at the end of it. Yeah, it's a very bizarre thing to do.
Spoiler alert! It's
weird.
not a kid. It's an actual
Turns out
android.
Turns out you can be based and completely fucking insane at the same time. But there you go. He noted that the studios and the elites that run them have chosen to disdain and ignore many Americans, including half the country's votes, 40% of Americans who own guns, another 40% who attend church, and 74% who live outside the West Coast, New York, or New England. And add to this the roughly 50% of Americans who are male. Next, Price declared that the deeper problem with Hollywood is contempt for the audience. He explained wokeness, both in politics and entertainment, carries within it a strong and explicit element of hostility. Wow!
What? I never.
Wow! No. Wow, I've got my upper register back. That's cool. Whiskey works. Yeah. Don't do as I say. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. Particularly towards white people and men. While this approach initially gained compliance through social pressure and corporate acquiescence a few years ago, such accommodations were, of course, temporary. Amongst the people and in courtrooms, by 2024, wokeness has become toxic. Ha 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 ha! Yeah, it really, really has. What is wokeness, if not completely demonic? To a large part of the audience, it's embarrassing, widely resented relic of the past, and the people need to see that acknowledged by candidates. They, especially men, need to see wokeness disavowed. Has that ever not been true? There is a reason that the entire entertainment industry has fragmented to the point that it has, where we have more potential than Hollywood to pull viewers.
Mad. It's insane. Trying to make that case 20 years ago, folks, you'd be laughed out of the room. Simple as that.
Well, there's a nice example of why.
But again, it comes down to like the very thing they're talking about is like there's no contempt here. You know, we're just three dudes who are just kind of like, you know, talking about our perspective on reality, and like we're not like, you know, completely out of touch with each other or anybody that's even watching this. Like we all have the same kind of sensibilities. So it's
the same thing I've pointed out many times before, especially when people like to say that shows like SNH and this are echo chambers, etc. The bottom line is every single one of us only met and only worked together because we each individually and separately came to the same conclusions.
Yeah.
And that is a pattern, my friends, and patterns can be relied on quite.
And the whole echo chamber, the whole echo chamber argument for me personally is something that I've always resented against, largely because of the fact of Saturday Night Hypnosis. I mean, you look at creators such as Atreus, to a lesser extent Kaida, Sheep City, and it's not just the black men, folks. Words of Paradise, to name but a few. People with completely different perspectives than myself. And we all have great talks. It can get a bit slicey and dicey when there's a lot of us, but it just goes to show that we can all have a great time. We can all speak our minds to our best possible abilities. For me, it's always a failure. And just, agree to disagree, worst case scenario, and move on. If it were an echo chamber, that kind of thing would not happen. But Hollywood needs to burn, and it needs to be exposed for being quite honestly Holly weird. I'm sure we can all stand by that.
I mean, I've enjoyed the last 6 years or so of watching this all happen drip by drip until eventually the dam burst. Not sure exactly when it burst. I reckon it was around about the time that SAG-AFTRA went on strike. I think that was it. Somebody took an axe to it, or a chainsaw, around about COVID, and then they managed to just barely keep it together, and then SAG-AFTRA went on strike, and you're seeing the results of it now. Nobody fucking cares. You are irrelevant.
But, the concept of an echo chamber doesn't even, this is an international incident that we do a couple times a week. We're all in very different parts of the world.
We're not Chernobyl, John.
No, but I just mean, but what I'm saying is, if this were an echo chamber, how does an echo chamber exist all over the world at once? It doesn't, and so even that kind of thought, it's not we're just a group of people that are from some little, dirt water town in the middle of nowhere that are all just I'm going to get all my, people around me to rally and go up, no, that's, there's far more, of that on a site like, say, Blue Skies that is specifically being populated by people who are looking to avoid having discourse. The places that these conversations exist, they have that in spades. And there's not a week that goes by that Ryan and I don't give each other shit, on all the various shows that we're a part of, and
for all the foibles and differences and quirks that we have. I mean, the three of us each of us are at different parts of our creative journeys, and we're all trying our best to develop. Unlike the Hollywood machine that hasn't developed and innovated for a good few decades. They're stuck in their lane like a dinosaur. They're not evolving, and the asteroid has already hit. It's too late for them. All we're seeing is the repercussions, Will.
We're like Lavos to these bitches. We are here, and we are going to cannibalize whatever the hell they leave behind, and we're going to make it our own and make it better. Simple.
Yep.
Ultimately, though, this is the most key expression in the entire thing. He says, it has been denying the reality of the audience. Truer words have not been spoken about Hollywood for quite a long time, really. They refuse. This is what happens when you have an echo chamber, and Hollywood is an echo chamber, of course. They have narcissists who are surrounded by sycophants, who themselves are also narcissists and don't actually like them. They just want the glory. They want to get into the positions of the narcissists. So they have to suck up to them to hope that they get a little slice of the pie. There is no actual talent anymore. There is no actual integrity in the artwork anymore. None. Even the directors these days are just cast. There's no one with any vision anymore. There's no Martin Scorsese's or Steven Spielberg's or George Lucas's, Brian De Palma's or anybody like that coming along to
Nobody has any balls.
Make this fucking movie because I want to. There's the last person who's even tried is Francis Ford Coppola, and all these guys are from the same generation. What generation was that? The 1970s.
Yep.
Everyone else, what are they doing? What Disney tells them. What's Disney telling them? What BlackRock's telling them. What's BlackRock telling them? What Klaus is telling them.
Exactly.
Out of touch, incompetent assholes. And no, that's not what I mean when I talk about you. So stop talking about me. Thank you for the $2, my friend. Appreciate you.
And
So check out Gamergate2.org, James Ops project, recording the actual history of Gamergate 2 so that the fucking shills can't lie about us this time. Appreciate it. Yeah. But I mean, just look at this, for example. Here's the latest from Brie Larson, who, let's not forget, was Hollywood darling until a couple of years ago. And they bulldozed anybody who said Brie Larson is an obnoxious, stupid, toadying bitch who has nothing really to offer anybody and has failed upwards her entire career. Well, now, for her upcoming role in Elektra, she has decided to make herself into Ellen Page.
I know, that's what I was thinking. It's like, wow, I guess, you know, well, there was a hole to fill because Ellen wants to pretend that she's not. And so, you know, now
Elliot Page, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, Brie is taking
Ellen.
on her most, like, maybe that's what, you know, like she'd be like, oh, we'll do a biopic, you know, and then then Ellen can come in for like the last little bit where she starts masquerading as a dude.
That's right. By the way, guys, if you haven't yet, because I can see how many people are watching and how many likes we have, like the stream. Just click like, make new friends. They'll come in when you like the stream. Do it now. Anyway, so yeah, this is her weird new haircut. They're calling it adorable. They're calling it fabulous. They're calling it a pixie cut. I call it the exact haircut my mum once accidentally gave me that got me bullied for a week.
Oh.
I mean,
my God, Mark Cuban has transitioned, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
right. Yeah. So
I don't
the
understand why
two
so many
comparisons
people
I've been
show up
seeing
their
from
foreheads.
is it just me or does it make her look like really skinny? Really,
It's the Rachel Maddow treatment.
It makes her
Rachel
teeth look
Maddow, yeah.
really
Maddow.
big. It makes like this is not.
She looks.
not doing
The other
herself
one
any
is
favors.
if it's not Ellen Page, the other one I've heard people say is that she looks like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
She kind of does. She kind of does.
Maybe
look
maybe
like-
she's a grudge fuck love child between the two. You know.
She does kind of look like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Let me get a picture up. I'm gonna try and find. Oh no, he's actually growing his hair again now. Wow. Okay. That's not really a good.
That makes me
one.
wonder though, like back when he was on Third Rock from the Sun and he was like a kid, I want to kind of like put a picture of him when he had long hair next to Brie when she had long hair and see if it holds.
Yeah.
Now, I could imagine Brie Larson becoming Brian Larson.
I mean, I didn't want to go and make that leap because honestly,
He's
Brie
got a better
Larson,
hairline.
despite the fact that Brie Larson is a venomous little sow, she's not wholly unattractive. You know what I mean? Like I can see why some people would say, yeah, I would.
Just
You
stay
know?
away from her
I mean,
feet.
if you actually scroll down far enough, then you get a look at her when she's actually trying to be feminine. And you
Yeah.
know, if you didn't know anything about her, you'd never heard of her. You'd never heard a word come out of her stupid mouth. You never heard her talking about 40-year-old white guys or anything. You'd be like, oh, I'd throw a bone up there. Yeah.
Now, here's the issue that Brie Larson has. If you notice, I myself am a pasty, pale white guy. So is Ryan,
I'm a
right?
formerly pasty pale white
But-
guy. I
but-
actually have
but-
a tan.
Right, but as this pasty, pale white guy, it's a good thing I have blonde hair because it doesn't look as much like I'm a cadaver or like a zombie. You know, if I were to dye my hair black, I would immediately look like I'm not well. And so, like this woman,
Yeah, you should not do that. Yeah, no,
No.
you shouldn't
No,
do
never.
that. No.
And neither should she because she doesn't really have the skin tone to pull
She's
that
the
off.
ideal version of to be seen and not heard.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course what Tomby put in there that she probably still shags like an old person. Just reminded me of this old meme now, which is quite funny. On the left you've got a fugly ass. I think it's a woman. I mean it's an old meme, so it's pre-mega transing of everyone. So
Yeah.
probably says fucks like a porn star in Heat, of course. Then you've got like a stunning babe, and it says fucks like a tranquilized mattress.
Yep.
You
I
know
don't have
why?
to work for
Because
anything.
they've never had to try. That's why. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, there you go. So there's Brie Larson's ridiculous haircut that makes her look like a 12-year-old boy, crossed with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, crossed with
Gordon-Levitt has a better hairline.
And this apparently is for Broadway. Allegedly, she's going to be performing not on the Broadway, on the West End in the drama Elektra, where she will play the titular character. And I assume that's not Marvel's Elektra, that's Elektra as in Elektra Complex. I can't be sure of that, but it does seem like the kind of thing that she would do. Pretentious bint. So there you go. She's doing what she's doing. Hollywood is burning. Everyone's fucked.
She's also a year younger than Alyssa Mercante. It's like this menopausal-edged creature of woman. Yeah, she's 35, and Mercante's 36.
She's 35? I thought she was like 40.
Nope.
Wow.
Again, skin.
She's the Ryan Roger Athe of Hollywood. What the fuck? Well, there you go.
You want to be in reality based. Reality based has got to be in you.
Jesus.
Oh no. Oh no. The president of Hollywood there, Ryan Roger Athe. Anyway, fucking hell. All right. So it's interesting though to see these people little by little. We've seen this a few times over the last few years. People are coming out of Hollywood and they are bleeding information. They are like desperate to get their message out. It's like they've been held back, gagged for years and years. It's like letting a prisoner out of the fucking jail. That's what we seem to be seeing with more and more. And the best part is it's not even anonymous sources anymore. It's not like Nerdrotic or I think it was Clifton Duncan had one recently. It's not like they're going, well, I've had an anonymous tip from an insider, which is what it was like 3-4 years ago. No, now it's fucking executives from Disney with names. Roy Price here, who come out and fucking done a Substack and says, fuck Hollywood and fuck wokeness. And you love to see it. You love to see it. It is dismantling, folks. We have almost won.
Yeah, I don't trust it 100% though, because there is every possibility that this is the way of lulling everyone back to sleep and just there's nothing to see here. Don't worry about it.
I agree with that.
And I mean, so we have to remain ever vigilant, knowing that even though they may remove this stuff from the privatized end of the spectrum,
I did it again. I keep confusing 34 for 36 for some reason.
No worries.
Okay, so she's a year younger than Brie. It's 2 fucking years, folks.
But you know, like,
do I sound okay? Do I sound okay?
You do.
Yeah,
James up. Just John, pay attention to the show. Yep. There's a super chat on stream. Ryan keeps adding years to Mercante. She is 34, says James off, and
34,
appreciate you for that.
God damn.
Tomby has jumped in for 20 quid, mate. That's right. Roll it up and snort something through it. It's 20 quid. Ryan Pixie Cut. No! Wow, I really am not doing my voice any favors, am I? Well, thank you very much, Tomby and Ryan. I don't think you have enough hair to do that cut, do you?
Yeah.
No, not really. No. No, I'd have to fill in Harvey Weinstein's
Just
position in
shave
Hollywood.
off some beard with some clippers and just, fashion yourself a little Brie Larson wig.
I was talking to Bat Sauce about a potential hair operation, but that was a joke.
Really? Yeah. They're fucking expensive, man. Very expensive. You'd be better off doing that in the Philippines. Much cheaper.
Indeed.
Well, anyway, thank you, Tommy.
To my credit, though, it was totally Ryan that jumped on top of what I was saying this time. So
why are you suddenly so loud?
Yeah. Literally, his own system's like, I'm not going to let this fucking song interrupt my Master John.
Well, you're gonna have to again now because Majors Guild is here for $10, and thank you very much as well. Says ahoy, Will and Co. I don't have much to contribute to this conversation, so as Fry said, shut up and take my money. Thank you. Says you might want to broadcast my Dune Prophecy reviews as they are proving divisive. You know what? I will try. I'll put that on the list right now. Hang on, and I will get to that either in a stream or a video. Mages Guild fucking Dune Prophecy. I have been meaning to do it, but I've been literally delirious. I started colds in the Philippines don't start the same way as colds in the UK, right? Or America, I suppose. Like in the UK, you start off with a sore throat, which rapidly produces a lot of phlegm, and then you end up with like a head cold and then a chest cold, and then you're gone. You're good. Then you sneeze it all away. In the Philippines, there's a stage in between the first two called fever dreams, where you just sweat in bed for an entire night and dream about insane manic shit. And that's what happened to me last night. So I know I'm on the mend at least. Seriously, I was having crazy dreams, man. I dreamt I bought a big blue truck and then I accidentally drove it over a hill and like went Dukes of Hazzard with it, and I shook myself awake before it crashed because I was like, my children.
That sounds like more like a premonition than a fucking dream.
Bitch, I'd never buy a big truck. I don't need to. I'm not doing too bad in the pants. Anyway, appreciate you for that, Majors Guild, for 10. And did I play sound yet? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
So, do I sound all right?
Yeah, you're good.
No,
you're
right,
good.
there you go. Try to learn how to not sound underwater after one of those fucking sounds.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Anyway,
Can I
so
finalize my quick little point? Is that, you know, like what I was saying is, even though it'll stop being on the business end, yeah, eat my ass, Ryan. It'll probably show up on the bureaucratic end of things. You know, like it's just the nature of these things. You know, like they're gonna fold it in so that there can be plausible deniability that it's not us, we're just complying with the law. You know, so it will never end in that regard.
Let's play a quick little game. Let's play a game. It's a choice. In chat, you can join in too, right? Would you rather this version of Brie Larson, where she's, you know, blonde and has long hair, but is a complete cunt, right? Or this version that looks absolutely hideous in terms of hairstyle, but is at least giving you a big old smile?
I'd prefer the Aryan. I'd prefer the Aryan.
I mean,
cunt.
I was married to quite a frumpy cunt myself, so you know.
So I mean, it's basically Carol Danvers or Brie Larson with this haircut.
Yeah.
So you'd rather go with Carol Danvers, because Carol Danvers is an asshole.
Oh, I'm well aware. You don't, you know, like I brought
Most
up,
hot blondes are.
Yeah. But
nah.
I've dealt with bitchy before. I know how to deal with that. I know how to, like, you know, that's all I'm saying. It's like, you know, like that is a shade of crazy. I am
so what we're saying here is that we've got, you know, crazy giggling girl who cuts her hair off, but at least smiles.
Yeah.
Or psychopathic, obvious villain in hero suit, but has blonde hair and is capable of smiling, maybe.
Yep.
Okay. So you've chosen the psycho. All right.
The one that looks like she just cut her hair herself, to me, seems a little bit more kind of like.
All Carol Danvers.
I mean, there are two versions of crazy here, so you know.
I'm well aware.
All Carol Danvers needs is blue eyes, and she's perfect.
She has blue eyes, doesn't she?
It doesn't look like it to me.
Maybe they're steel gray.
I don't know what color her eyes are.
I couldn't quite say for certain.
All right.
But, you know,
so I mean,
crazy,
but you got to consider here, like, you've got multiple personality defects and a serious hatred of men versus, you know, she can grow her hair back. Which one do you want to fix? All right.
I mean,
all right.
You know,
so you went with the, you know, quicker. I suppose I should say it's more of a relationship than a one night kind of thing.
Again, I'm well versed in this.
Well, John is used to a relationship with someone like Carol Danvers.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can sleepwalk through this thing. It wouldn't even like register on my like. Oh yeah, like she's being a bitch last night.
Who's that at the door, honey? Oh, it's just Nick Fury. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing about
you've been practicing with that butt plug, right?
like had she been more open and honest, I'd probably have more respect. You know.
Oh wait, are you not? Are you not Destiny? Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, no.
All right,
no.
that's enough. That's enough of that, and enough, of course, of not so rush news. So there you go.
He's changed to push
Okay.
news, like we're putting it up the hill, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with something else because it certainly doesn't fit rush news, does it? An hour and 22 minutes to talk about 4 things. Well, it's fine. It's fine. Realistically, it's defunct. We spend about 20 to 30 minutes talking about every subject.
It's
So
all right. It's a fun way to break it up.
It's a joke for the chat, you know. If you know, you know. It's bullshit. It's all bollocks, really. But anyway, main event time, and of course, it's time to go back to that well again. The well of, I want to say fugly
The
cunt,
Zeg.
but you know, the Zegening, yeah. So we've got multiple things here. First of all, it's an interesting twist that yet another insider from Disney, although this one was only an Imagineer. Do you not hate that name as much as I do? I've always thought that
It is so.
I always thought it was stupid, but these
heinous.
days I just think of it more as Imagine Queer.
Yeah. Imagine understanding how the people actually think.
Mhm.
Former longtime Disney Imagineer has blasted Disney's secret Snow White trailer, which is only a secret because they won't let us see it on YouTube. What's that? My old man says he'd rather go with the short-haired version. Yeah, but then you know, I know he doesn't mind short hair on ladies. So there's that. Former longtime Disney Imagineers blasted Disney's secret Snow White trailer, which the company put out alongside Universal's Wicked and not online, even though we've all seen it and we've all reacted to it. So joke's on you, you dicks. Retired Imagineer Jim Shull, who gave 33 years to the Walt Disney Company, has called the trailer unwatchable on X before comparing it to another forgettable live-action Disney film.
All of them?
Yeah, Pinocchio, apparently, with Tom Hanks, the one that had the
Gino, as I like to call him.
the one that had the Lady of Color as the fairy.
Yeah, Geppetto.
Geppetto, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think that was a little before my channel really blew up, but yeah. The trailer for Snow White is unwatchable, he said on his official account today. Pinocchio was directly released to Disney Plus, and that film starred Tom Hanks. The implication here is that Disney shouldn't be releasing the Rachel Zegler-led film in theaters. That is actually a wise move at this point. And hello to Sonia joining the ranks of the mods. Tom Hanks is a proven movie star. Not anymore, he's not. Do you think he's a proven movie star? Just as an aside, and bearing in mind we don't have too much time for more asides, but do you
Not
think...
an is, but a was.
I think at a certain point, maybe in the
30
90s,
years ago.
maybe after You've Got Mail came out or something like that, Tom Hanks was like a bankable star. But the problem is now the entire model of people going to see a movie just because of who's in it is non-existent. It's not even dying. It's not even dead. It's a ghost. It doesn't exist.
That and the House of Cards for Tom Hanks, it faltered somewhere around that really bad CGI movie, the North Pole Express or whatever the hell. Because during the 90s into the early 2000s, he was
Polar
definitely
Express, right?
Polar Express, but that was kind of the dividing line, because after that, like, everybody just kind of, that was also kind of when a lot of these celebritards started to become more retarded than celebrities. You know, by and large. So so 30 to 20 years ago, sure, people would be like, oh, Tom Hanks movie, cool. But after that, it's just been one.
I think at a certain point it was like, okay, Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan. People probably would have gone and seen it anyway, but they definitely went to see it because of Tom Hanks. Don't think they even advertised Matt Damon in that movie. I think because he is Ryan. So they didn't advertise him at all. I remember thinking, who the fuck plays Private Ryan? And then I saw the movie, of course. But yeah, it was Tom Hanks on the cover. Green Mile, stuff like that, Fucking Castaway was probably the absolute zenith of his career, I guess, or maybe Saving Private Ryan.
And that was right around 2000, 2001.
Yeah. And he's fantastic in Castaway. I hate the guy, but he is fucking great in Castaway. Basically, the only thing he does now that makes money is Toy Story. It's ironic, really, because it's just a voice role. You could probably replace him with a lot of people. You could probably replace him with his own son, and it wouldn't make much difference.
Right.
But if you get rid of Tim Allen, no one will be talking to you the next day, because we saw that with Lightyear. But yeah, so there you go. So I guess, yeah, Tom Hanks, no longer a proven movie star. A has-been.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then. And Rachel Zegler, of course, never was.
Yeah, no.
Has never starred in a hit film, with even The Hunger Games: A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes holding the distinction of lowest grossing Hunger Games movie ever.
She has blown up on the launch pad at least 3 times that I can point to right now.
Every single time this woman gets given a microphone, she says the worst possible thing she could possibly say. Absolutely. Every time. She really does. What about Depp, says Eris Rhoda. Depp's a good... I don't know. Because what's Depp put out since the trial?
That's a good question. Like, Johnny Depp's kind of like, I think that... you would almost need like a Pulp Fiction kind of like reintroduction kind of thing, or just like a really good character piece. But
I think if you were to put out a Johnny Depp movie where he's playing fucking Jack Sparrow, not like bring back Edward Scissorhands or any of that other crap, no fucking Wonka 2 or whatever. Jack Sparrow, get him back as Jack Sparrow and make the movie about him. Fuck it, get Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley back too. There's a generation of people who will see that as the Force Awakens, you know, and then just have it be like the original 3 Pirates movies, as close to the first one as you possibly can. Just have him be the ancillary character, not all about him, because that's where they went wrong with the sequels to the Pirates movies, making it all about Jack rather than the 2 other characters. It was mostly about them in the original, and he was just there for fun, ha ha ha. But then, of course, it turned into being all about him. Get a Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp movie, Pirates. Fucking whatever number it is now, put that out. Just have the balls to put that out, and I guarantee you're going to make money. Ignore the controversy, put it out. People will come.
Yeah, although the only thing that's standing in the way of that actually being a thing is Disney's going to have to like show up with like $50 million.
Or Mad Max with Gibson. Yeah, they're going to have to spend some fucking money, but I guarantee
it is going to be like huge.
Guarantee it makes $1 billion.
Yeah, because he himself is quite pissed with them as an entity.
Yeah, fine.
In the way
give him whatever the fuck he wants. The movie's going to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, and spend modestly. Use physical props wherever. Minimal CGI. Just have it be about the laughs and the characters. Put it out, and it's golden.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the great thing about Pirates of the Caribbean, like, it is far better than any movie based on an amusement park ride has any right to be. Yeah, ever. Absolutely. And they managed to do it, you know, so it's not.
For the longest time, I refused to watch the first Pirates of the Caribbean because it was based on an amusement park ride. I was like, this is bullshit for kids. And then I watched it. I was like, this is fucking fantastic, actually.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's because of the cast and the writing. Get Bruckheimer back, you know, do it all properly. No bullshit. No fucking, you know, no Indiana Jones 5-ing it. No, you get the main character played by the guy who made him famous, and you make it about that, but then have some other characters going on in the background and make those other characters, you know, straight or in love, or, you know, at least one guy and one girl who are equally powerful or powerless compared to him. Doesn't matter really at the end of the day. And then have him there being Jack.
Yeah.
Just unabashedly, unapologetically Jack Sparrow, and you will make $1 billion. I bet anyone. It will happen if they did it, but we don't know. What we're not talking about, though, is Rachel Zegler, which we should.
Yeah, she's a very compelling topic, isn't she? Will
she should be the exact opposite rule. If you put her in any role, it will lose money.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The only role I put this woman in is next to Steven Seagal, so that she gets. I'm not continuing that sentence.
Well, West Side Story made no money. Shazam 2. Made no money, you know, fucking what they just said, Hunger Games made no money, right? So like this is an escalation in failure, and this right here
this has
be
to
like,
make money, or they're all fucked.
I mean, it has to for them to, like, you know, justify all the insanity they put up with, but they are now legitimately at the point to where, just like PlayStation a few weeks ago, when they said, you know what, we're gonna have to kill this game outright from Firewalk, and like there is no salvaging anything because all of our financial analysts, you know, tell us that, analytics are
analytics.
going to like allow us to make anything close to a profit is only through claiming a tax loss.
Yeah.
So
which
right,
they have.
right, the analytics. And so
like
that's and so like it's going to be offloaded to all the taxpayers to basically shoulder the load of this piece of shit one way or the other. I'd much rather just pay for it in stupid taxes than I mean, like it's one of two things is going to happen, like because they're either going to do that or they're going to put it out and they're going to have a much bigger failure on their hands.
Yeah, I mean they'll get a return
and they'll still get
the tax.
Something.
Yeah, they'll get a tax write-off for it, which is saving some money. Yeah, that's what they should have done with this. Absolutely, they should have done that with this, or just released it on Disney Plus. Maybe with like a $5 price tag on it on top of the subscription for a month.
Right. Or like a yearly sub gets you a free copy or something. Some kind of way to like entice people to get something of. So
maybe you could sell it for a little bit on top of. Although I officially I don't like that when you pay a monthly subscription and then something comes out and wants more money on top. That's why I never bothered with Amazon Prime.
Right.
But you could do that with Snow White, but put that out in theaters. I still don't believe this thing's going to make any fucking money. Really, I said it's going to make $450 million worldwide because it probably will, but that won't be enough.
Yeah, and it'll be mostly an international audience.
I mean, I hope you're right. It will be mostly international. Yeah, I think you're right. In fact, it could be the biggest golf we've seen.
Yeah, I only came up with that figure because I know the Marvels was, an absolute disaster, and I'm making an argument of false equivalency. But I said as a joke for the Marvels, 200 million. You know that deadpan joke? I'm super serious, and it made about 206 million US
you've
dollars
got to win
total.
With that one.
So
they're claiming here. Have you seen this? This is news because the other day when we were having that conversation, we were hypothesizing that the budget for this movie is about $400 million. They're trying to claim that the budget has ballooned now to $269 million. I don't believe that for a fucking second.
So that means it's closer to like 500 to 600 million because they're you know what they say, double it. And so
I mean, look, you remember the Lion King remake that came out 2016? Budget for that $260 million.
Yeah, and that was on time.
And it was fucking 8 years ago.
Yeah. And this is 2024, 2022,
the whole movie is pretty much CGI, but you still got a hell of a lot of CGI in this movie with 7 dwarves.
Multiple times over now.
The remake of Aladdin was 183 million. Nokia was only 150 million. What was The Little Mermaid? Hold on, let me find out because I'm a little bit rusty. 240.2 million USD announced as the production.
Yeah, and they've done reshoots on this 4 times now.
Yeah. So when they say balloons to $269 million. Nah, I think they started with that.
Yeah,
I think they're only announcing it now. But yeah, because that's the sort of budget that something like this would have been initially. It's at least got to be as much as The Little Mermaid was. So if you're starting from $240 million and then you're adding 2 years of production, including multiple rounds of reshoots because of the backlash, the controversy, and that includes, of course, completely redoing the dwarves.
Right. And their initial mindset was that people are going to flock to this because this is Snow White. This is the thing that established, Disney as like masterpiece kind of animation and all this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, women, every woman on planet Earth who can watch a television or some kind of screen will watch this film. Well, talk about a bullshit argument that is. I mean, from my personal perspective, folks, when it comes to this project, it's dead on arrival, and I'm sticking with $200 million.
Dude, it's
so don't
dead
get me
today.
Wrong.
It's
don't
dead
get me
in
wrong.
development.
I absolutely hope you're right. But I do feel like just the way that this particular sequence of events with Rachel Zegler has played out has been very much contained to the internet.
Well, there better be a lot of moms that want to take their kids to the movies. I don't see.
Yeah, sure, but again, The Little Mermaid, 90s movie, Yes, a lot of mums took their kids to see it, so fair enough. There's going to be hardly it's hard to predict. It's very, very hard to predict. Either all the normie women, we're going to talk about only normie women for the purpose of this.
Right.
Either they are all going to go, oh, Snow White, I saw that when I was a little girl. Oh, I'd like to see what they've done. And they're going to take their daughters or whatever, and they're going to go see it. Or it's too old, unlike The Little Mermaid, that they didn't see it in cinemas when they were kids. And they're going to say, oh, I don't really give a fuck. So that could be the reason that Ryan might end up being right. Otherwise, 450 to 500 million worldwide is pretty attainable. If enough people are not yet aware of just how much of a toxic harpy Rachel Zegler really is. Because more than Dwarfgate, more than Peter Dinklage, more than Israel-Palestine bullshit, Rachel Zegler is the cancer that this film is suffering from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they'd almost have to do this as double feature and release it as like the second part of a double feature where you actually get to go in and watch the original Snow White animation prior to this. And so like that way there's at least a draw for people to go in and like they can get your money, but it won't have anything to do with this piece of shit. This thing will just kind of ride along, otherwise nothing. I don't, Yeah,
I remember what Archer is bringing up.
It was the Acolyte.
$280 million.
No, it was 180 million.
Oh, 100. Oh, shit.
$180 million was the reported budget for the Acolyte, but actually it was never explicitly stated to be in dollars, and we later found out from a tax return that it was pounds. So it's $230 million apparently. So yeah, fucking catastrophe. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to assume I don't know, for example, where they've shot any of this. It doesn't look like they shot it anywhere really. It looks like it was done in the volume, but I don't know. What I know is that this article is more of this pandery shit of Rachel Zegler. Now, bear in mind, this is the Daily Mail, so there's just as good a chance that this ends up in a newspaper. So maybe more people are aware of what an absolute piece of shit Rachel Zegler is. Look how fucked she looks. I mean, okay, paparazzi shots are particularly flattering, but boy, she doesn't look the same as she does on her Instagram, I'll tell you. As someone who has made a partial career out of thumbnails, including Rachel Zegler, rough.
She's looking tired.
That's what you get for. That's what you get for criticizing the greatest country on planet Earth that's done nothing wrong ever.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, this is a very is this how you have to dress when you're a Hollywood idiot? When
Holy
you don't
shit, AOC's really let herself go after she lost her Congress
right. Right.
Yeah, I just think, Jesus Christ, you look tragic in this picture, dude. So anyway,
ashamed to be on that leash.
I mean, so they're framing it as that she's broken cover in New York City after the Trump backlash. So are we supposed to still feel like sympathy for her? Because I never actually did.
I never did in the first place. And
yeah.
Like broken cover, like she's working on Broadway now, so it's like, how does she break cover? So she's like living in New York at this point in time. She's walking her dog.
Let's get a nice full frame of that. Yeah. So then the next question really becomes, hang on, this or this? Make your decision, people. Make your choices.
Which way, Western man?
Which way, Western man? There it is. Yeah.
I think I'm still gonna have.
You're gonna go with Pixie Cut. Pixie Cut Brie Larson.
This is actually rough. It's like Ratchet is even more insufferable.
Ratchet. Maybe she just needs a good cuff around the chops, just to shut your fucking mouth, you dumbass little bin, and make me a sandwich. Maybe she'll respond to that.
Maybe she just needs a good women down,
A lot of leftist women find conservative men like disturbingly attractive. I've told you before, I've encountered this firsthand. It's It's a weird phenomenon that they seem to, more than regular women, they seem to very much go, okay, sir.
Right.
I
It's
right.
because they crave authority and order and discipline and command to fill
most
the
of them
void
have-
in their lives.
Yeah, the hole they have in their hearts is that.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, most of
exactly
them do have
order.
quote unquote daddy issues specifically. So,
Of course they do. Yeah. I mean, that girl definitely has daddy issues, and this one 100% has daddy issues. Yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
So,
I mean,
they need
why
someone to
would
lay down the law and discipline,
yeah. I wonder what she's
Bust out the
listening to.
belt.
Maybe it's the Palestinian national anthem or something. I have no idea. But anyway, 1,000 cocks there too. Yeah, she's definitely had to do a couple of things to get into Hollywood, didn't she? Well, I guess that's, the way the cookie crumbles. But do we think then that this movie has a real chance?
No.
God, no. Not if there's
So, like I said, I'm going to stick to
Palestine
my...
has a greater chance of existing than this film has of making a profit.
You're like Diddy. So you try it with the Didiometer. Some deep lore for those people who remember the Didiometer. That was back when Rev was around. Anyway, so no, I mean, I'm going to stick to my 450 because I've got a horrible premonition that an awful lot of dumbass women who don't know anything about what's going on and don't know what a piece of shit this woman is will show up to support this movie just because it's Disney's Snow White in 2024. But I don't think I got to make the point on SNH because there were 9 of us, and you know what that's like, Ryan.
Yeah.
I was trying to say I think the second weekend will be an 80% flop.
Drop. Most definitely. This is a 1 week drop off kind of thing. Like,
because I think if you are a trad woman and you go to see this because you love Snow White, then the first thing you're going to be thinking when you exit that cinema is, what the fuck did they do to Snow White?
Well, if you're a trad woman, you're already being like reminded that the Daily Wire has
that picture looks like a porno.
Well, I mean,
it does look a lot like the 5, black USBs and the 1 white socket. Yeah. Well, okay, there you go. That'll do for Rachel Zeggy for now. We can scoot onwards to our last topic of the day with the little time that we have left, which is fine because it's been done to death as well. But I'd like to hear you guys talk about it, especially you, Ryan, because I didn't get to hear anything from you on Saturday or Sunday.
Well, I did offer her a spear. Come on. Man.
Yeah, that's true. But Dragon Age Veilguard, let's rinse it out one more time, dust it off, see what it's still worth as a topic. And that, of course, is relating entirely to Ara Nuhre, as everyone likes to say. Fucking when Hypnotic says it, he goes, Nuhre, Nuhre, Nuhre. And I'm like, feel the power, New Day. Like wrestlers. Who are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Ara, right? Okay. Can't you just accept that most of us don't roll our R's? Okay. Anyway, she's Spanish, so fair enough. I'll do the kindness. Friend of the channel that we sometimes are also on. Ara, who was banned from EA Play, and they tried to say that it was about. Oh God, this picture of Tash. Get rid of it. The Monstra. And so she's on X as God Empress of Mankind at Nuhre _ you will have seen her on Hypnotic's streams. She jumped in for 20 minutes on SNH this past episode and dropped every word you can't say on YouTube with the rapid
woman.
fire of a trigger happy tween. It was
She's running off adrenaline. I can tell, as someone who went through a cancel culture campaign, when you're in the middle of it.
She's shook for sure. Yeah.
And she's going all out, and best of luck to her in that regard. I mean, this is the price you pay.
Just don't
speaking
apologize.
Truth to power. Don't apologize to the opposition and stay strong, because you can easily make your name make a name rather for yourself in exposing the Empire of Lies.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. So, I mean, she's ended up going toe to toe with someone who looks altogether nothing like her, as they've pointed out in chat. And, you know, they want me to acknowledge it. I suppose that, yes, she is rather attractive. So there you go.
Well,
The cutout that I had to do for my thumbnail earlier. So that was fun. Thank you, Ara. Appreciate that. Anyway, yeah, so she's been through it a bit lately. As she has been banned from EA Play. Now, there are a lot of angles to this because she has not actually done anything on the EA Play service. That's correct, right? Like, I don't know what I don't fucking subscribe to EA anything. I haven't bought an EA game.
Another shit platform that nobody wants to use. What would be the
Pretty
point?
sure the
Why would you
last
limit
EA
yourself?
game I bought was actually Inquisition. And I didn't even buy it. My parents did. So
the only thing that I think that I have a few games, I think, from EA back when they were doing their platform initially, back when they offered a few free titles. I think I've got, I think Peggle was from there, and like maybe some other like Populous or something like that. But
well, she got suspended, which is a temporary ban, folks, using the same precedent Twitch uses to this day on creators and, in their case, live streamers. If you do something, you know, bad that breaks, say, Twitch's rules, same for EA's rules, on another site, not even on their site, you get the ban, or in this case, a suspension, which is a temporary ban. I don't usually like to sound like words, folks, but it's important we define the proper terms and all that stuff. I mean, good on
you're not wrong,
her
actually,
for exposing, you know, the cabal behind the scenes that are hanging together, which shows even to this day institutional power is the ace in the hole of the opposition, and until the whole thing is rotted inside and out, that's not going to change.
Yes, and absolutely, Simdal agreed. Yeah, so I mean, this is the big problem. It is reminiscent of Gamergate 1. And I said this in my video about the subject that came out earlier on. It was, and sorry for sounding like Satan in that video, I was just getting my voice back at the time. This is the reality of what she actually did was she criticized Unifade Walker and EA's relationship. Right now, of course, this is I'll put it back, is Unifade Walker, who you will of course recognize from the insane shilling for trans scars, top surgery scars, in that insanely cringe video. And I actually thought at the time that mad woman was working for BioWare. I thought that was like one of the devs. The way she spoke about it, it was like, you know, she was part of the dev team. I didn't realize until SNH that she wasn't actually related at all. She's just a shill tuber.
Right.
Access a more successful one than Mr. TARDIS, you know, who still has no access.
Or Sugar Bear.
Or Sugar Bear, yeah, the ultra cock. But anyway, so Nuhre is the binary opposite of Unifade. First of all, one is a woman who desperately wants you to believe that they are a man, while the other one is all woman. No doubt about that.
One is fire and one is ice. I said this privately. I'll say it publicly. Yeah. Nuhre is fire. We must try our best, me specifically, to not be moths, folks. She has that energy and zeal.
No, she's got the fire, yeah. Definitely, especially when she's pissed off.
Creator. Yeah,
she's got that. You know, I can absolutely understand the guys who are simping for her. I can. She's Spanish. She's archetypally Spanish. Actually, she's foul mouthed too, which a lot of guys like. You know, and yeah, fair enough. Feisty, hot, fiery chick,
and sharp,
and clearly, yes. Not dumb, not by any stretch. Clearly an intelligent person, and desperately wants to celebrate the things that she loves, but they keep letting her down. Much like us, actually, which is why we all became friends. But at the same time, she's also very feminine and has no problem with working with that and using it to her advantage, which is fine as well. Work with what you got, right? Whereas the other one, who I'm not going to put on screen, because honestly, take your hands off your pants, guys. But you know, you shouldn't be anyway. But just in case that will kill it, that'll kill it for you right there. Voice. It's the exact opposite. This is a woman in Unifade who desperately wants to be considered a man, has actually not even they, them, but he, him pronouns in her bio on Twitter, and sees clearly no merit in herself as a creator or a gamer or a fan, or anyone who's actually organically knowledgeable about something they claim to be passionate about.
I do appreciate that you scrolled back to her rather than keep it on. Like that's emblazoned in everybody's face.
You were just describing this Eddie creature, and I was literally shaking. That's how unnatural this creature, this being, this fine woman is the face of womanhood, while the opposition's figure is the face of decadence and corruption. Okay.
Yeah. All right, there's both of them. So that's fair. I can leave it on here. So anyway, the point is that Ara decided to have a go at the concept of nepotism in the industry, which of course is what Gamergate 1 was actually about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was about. It was about Zoe Quinn fucking her way to the top, or fucking her way to the middle, I suppose. With that crappy game, Depression Quest, which was a text-based, browser-based piece of trash. She even got onto that indie game that came out at the time with her and Phil Fish and other people talking about how hard it was. And yeah, I'm sure it's hard work, especially for people like Phil Fish, who actually built a really good game in Fez. But at the end of the day, where am I trying to go with this? It's difficult to explain. The nepotism is absolutely one of the major facets that will destroy the AAA gaming space. When useless, talentless, feckless hacks are trying to cling to the industry, an industry that they don't seem to realize is on fire, they are really in big trouble, because there's no faster way to out someone as an utter charlatan. And Unifade Walker is many things. Right. A monstrous visage, a hideous personality.
Well, to my understanding, she because she's got a very small following comparative to the other Access Media shill types that were given.
John, you misgendered the creature. Now you must be arrested.
Oh, sorry. Well, anyways, the Access
Unifade Walker.
It's a
That's
woman.
a man.
Whatever.
No. I mean, what are you fucking talking about? I've been misgendering this fucking bitch for the last 20 minutes.
No, I just wanted to nail John for something.
That's all right. That's all
right. You want to nail John?
I mean, most people do. I'm kind of sad.
Where's I need the gay.
But yeah, no, evidently, she's got a very low following comparatively, and so it was totally this thing that a lot of game companies are doing right now. Like I mentioned about the current design review that they're doing for the next Witcher game, around the Boston area, where they want to select the audience to come in that they want to judge it, and they're basically making an echo chamber to tell them what they want to hear. And so they went and they were trying to promote Veilguard by giving it to translors such as this, and in the hopes that they would see themselves in it and report back highly, and that would be enough to do a Shinola job.
Is that why the game? Is that why the game killed itself, John?
Pretty much. I mean, 41% of the people who played it didn't make it through.
Yeah. Yep. Not wrong.
So
of
that
course,
one's a man.
This picture. One is a man who is pretending to be a woman, and the other is a woman who is pretending to be a man.
Imagine if they had kids.
Well, here's the great thing about that. They're both sterile, hopefully.
Yeah. Savage. Fucking hell. That's a horrible thing to say about a person
you,
out of context.
Could
You're
you
right.
imagine it though, being their kiddo and how fucked up mentally that would be?
Yeah. So we all saw, of course, in this situation, what had basically happened was she got banned, and she said, this is Nuhre, of course, said that this happened because, obviously, rather obviously anyway, Eddie Unified Walker had decided to run to BioWare and say that she was getting harassed. When in fact, what was really happening was an actual criticism of the nepotistic relationship between BioWare and Unified Walker. And then, of course, it escalated. Then, of course, we had Ara saying things like, you know, unalive yourself, you cunt, and various other things like that.
Gonna get her on reality base sometime. That'll be one hell of a fiery
we do
show.
have
More
our
or less
finest
anything
face
you add her
Latinx
to is
working
gonna-
on it. You
It
know?
was hilarious too on SNH because Hypno explicitly said, "Don't say kill yourself and don't say cunt on this stream," and she managed to hold it together for about 90 seconds before the first.
I mean, you know, that is
I was
a pretty
keeping my
good-
mouth shut, but I was sitting there and I just, oh, for fuck's sake!
While I was loving every second.
I mean, that's almost like me showing up on the stream and being like, "John, don't say frumpy cunts today, and don't
Yeah,
start
yeah, yeah.
shouting spear."
Or don't
you know,
speak
I
for
just
longer
don't care
than 2
anymore.
minutes. 5
Right.
I
minutes
just don't
later.
care anymore. Hopefully, the chat will keep the
Oh.
stream rendered
Oh.
profitable, so I don't have to fucking monetize it. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I like that we entertain people, so there's that. But yeah, so I mean, this is, and we didn't really get around to it on SNH because a lot of it was her coming on the show and
Mhm.
saying everything you can't say on YouTube in one massive rant, and wonderfully too. But the other element of this is that comparison to Gamergate. That this is just a clear, obvious microcosm of it. You tried to say, right, I've noticed that there's this weird Nepo relationship between this person and this person, and obviously, guys, Occam's razor dictates that the simplest solution is more often than not the correct one. Then, of course, we can probably reasonably work out that trans woman and trans man come together and make friends. Suddenly, this one's getting all the access. And then in a torrent of over 100 tweets that this thing posted about Nuhre while trying to claim that she is obsessed with her.
Right.
She pointed out, she said, I never said anything to BioWare. I never... Okay, you doth protest too much.
Yep.
She then tried to make it about the fact that she's trans because that's what they always do. And I just think it's yet another example of the world getting over all of this collectively. Nobody gives a fuck what the hell this crazy person, not
Proclaims to
Ara,
be.
this psycho says it is.
Yeah.
She is a woman. She is identifying as trans and then decides that it must be about that. But you think that will get you sympathy.
Right.
You haven't been
check the
paying
date.
attention.
Right.
You don't know
And
what
that's
year it is.
Yeah, and that's
You're
the best
over it.
case. And that's the best case scenario for the opposition, Will, because all these L's that the entertainment establishment are taking, best case scenario, it creates the collapse which allows pop culture to be made again. Worst case scenario for the opposition is that the core audience in the Western world gets more radical,
Yeah.
more like, you know, parts of the second and third world
As it should.
view these
Absolutely.
these
Yeah, sure.
people.
Look, at
And
the end of the
you're-
day, when you're
you're-
engaging in nepotism and
Yeah.
things like this, if Gamergate 1 would have happened now, if Zoe Quinn would have revealed blah blah and it happened now, although it wouldn't work because we need Gamergate 1 to have fucked up for Gamergate 2 to have happened, just like we need Biden's administration to get Trump back as is now. History's actually ended up going for the better in both cases. But if that were to happen now, or something akin to the Zoe Quinn scenario, that would be the end of their careers. They would never be able to get away from us. We would never let them. And some people would like to say that that's bad, that's wrong, that's sick, that's, you shouldn't harass these people. Well, I'm sorry, but you broke the rules, you broke the faith, you broke the industry. At the end of the fucking day, criminals must be punished, and people who undermine the good faith of business industries should be rooted out of it. Yeah, simple as that. Otherwise, your industry is a joke.
Yeah, and that's why I say Asylum Mercante is probably like, the figurehead for what you're just stating in this current go round. Like, she's over and done. Bitch is cooked, Yeah,
just don't do this stuff, and then nothing will happen. It's the same argument you see when you talk about politics, and they're like, "Oh, are you going to separate families? Are you going to kick out the kids?" He's like, "Well, no. I mean, it's really quite simple. If the dad broke the law, then the whole family can fuck off."
Mm-hmm. Now,
I mean, it's
a weird little tangent. As an aside, this, how I talked about how I got attacked. Yeah, but how I got attacked by like a genderqueer niece that outweighed me by looks a lot like this. Yeah, it looks a lot like that Unifade character right there. Who
they all look like this.
These women with buzz cuts.
Well, look, the communism that we're facing, folks, has a biological component. That's why they all look the same or very similar.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, everyone who tries to defy nature looks like a fucking monster. That's just inevitable.
While folks such as ourselves are unique in our appearance and our perspectives as well. Yeah. There's no one quite like Nuhre, folks.
No, she is who she is, and that's fine too. And if people want to simp, they can. But I'm a married man. But the unfortunate thing is that until the time comes when industries, or rather certain parties within industries, cannot get away with doing this fucking shit, like banning someone for stuff that they've done, A, off platform, and B, with their free speech, the war will not end. It will never be over. And I've said it before, I say it again, if the whole AAA industry has to crash and burn for this, then fine. So be it.
I'll be there with gasoline and matches just to make sure that it goes down.
Yeah. I'll be there. I'll be there singing na 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 hey 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 goodbye the whole time, because fuck them, don't care.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, chaps?
It'd be great to talk to Nuhre proper on Saturday.
Yeah.
See if you can get her onto reality based. That would give you about 5,000
I'll let a nice Spanish.
We've got our best base links on that. Detail.
Yes. It's not literally. It's not what you know. It's who you know, folks.
Indeed.
Of course,
we'll
it is.
Try our
Same
best.
as everything.
We'll try.
That's not necessarily nepotism, though. By the way, because that is how the world has always worked. What is nepotism is making sure that it's only those people who have opportunities.
Building connections, like there is no money exchange here. This is just an idea of like, people exchanging like, opportunities to kind of like come together and talk about stuff. It's just
whereas in this case, the nepotism is clearly obviously because they both happen to be freaks who've abandoned their sexualities and their genders.
Right. And they're working on a profiteering scheme. So that
they're obviously freakishly jealous of Nuhre as well because, she pretty, she comfortable in her body.
Mm-hmm.
There's that element too. But there you go. Anything else?
Wakanda forever.
Fuck AAA. All right, there you go. Cool. All right, that'll do then. Thank you, everybody. I have a couple of chatteroonies to catch up with. I'm just trying to work out where I was before. Right, James Up is here for $5, and thank you very much. Says, I don't want to make a name for myself. I'll just sit back and toss shitballs at idiots and do my artsy stuff and memes. And more power to you, mate. More power to you. Absolutely right. Okay, Phantom Wars jumped in. Member for 1 month. Thank you very much. It says, Will, glad to see you doing better. Ryan, Coach sucks. Dr. Pepper is better. What's good, my homie PWG? Hit me up sometime. Hope you're well.
Yeah, will do.
I didn't. I went to the shop, to do some shopping today, and I didn't buy any 80 pence Kingsley Cola.
I've never even heard
Did
of
you
that.
did you splurge and actually get the real deal? Which is
No, I didn't get any for once.
Oh, even better.
Wow.
Even better. You know, I
Right.
fully support this. Turn in your health and wellness condition, Ryan. I fully support it.
Yeah,
Although you guys
actually,
actually have real sugar in your sodas, not the corn syrup bullshit that we have over here.
yeah. I think we have more of the American style stuff here in the Philippines, so it's probably pretty bad. As for me doing better, yeah, thank you. Obviously, right now I sound fine, but I'm about to go and lay down and have about a good 8, 9, hopefully maybe even 10 hours of sleep because I fucking need it. At which point I will wake up and I will have got worse. We're still on that side of the cold, but fortunately, as I said, a combination of various different
Keep the whiskey on the nightstand
and a little bit of whiskey.
Yeah.
When you need
Just keep
it,
the whiskey on the nightstand. So anytime that you inadvertently wake up in the course of the next 10 hours,
don't ever put a bottle of alcohol to drink on your nightstand, guys. Don't ever do that. Trust me. I know from history, not mine, but people I'm close to, were related to and associated with, that people who have alcoholic bottles on their nightstand don't last very long. So don't do that. And also don't try to cure your cold with whiskey. Unless
That's the disclaimer part of the show.
Unless you have a very good reason that you need to be able to speak for 2 hours.
Thank you for enjoying the show. Please do not do anything that has been mentioned.
I'm currently borrowing from 75-year-old Will's vocal cords at the moment, and this is not a good thing to do. So don't be like me. Just do as I say.
Doctor Who regeneration energy.
Send your super chats and take the piss. That's fine, but don't do as I do.
There's a reason I look twice my age, okay, folks?
Oh, man, I've been drinking like a fish since I was 15 years old, and I look about the age I am. So there you go. Okay, and thank you for that, Phantom Wars. Appreciate you. Mark V. I don't know if that's Mark versus V or versus or versus 5 or 5. I don't know. Let me know. It says Nuhre is also a very good fan fiction writer of Dragon Age. Oh, interesting. I have never read any Dragon Age fan fiction. In fact, I haven't read any fan fiction for at least 15 years because I just started to realize it was all either porn or self-insert shit. But if she's actually writing good stories, then there must be statistically someone out there doing good fan fiction.
Oh yeah. Especially in Dragon Age, to make up for the fact that it's been 10 fucking years and we've gotten this Veilguard.
Shame these things are not canonized.
I mean, it's probably more comprehensible than like Drag Queen Age ended up being.
Well, it's like Star Wars Theory making his Vader movies. There's like the passion is there. What he really should do, Star Wars Theory, uniquely because of the position he's in, the earnings that he must be making, and the connections he's got, and the clout on YouTube, he should just make his own IP. If anyone is in the position to replace Star Wars, it's him.
Galactic Conflict.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's got a little bit of He can be repaired, and that it's like not beyond
the universal democracy versus.
As great as it is, as great as it is that he does such excellent works of fan fiction, I think finish these Vader projects then if you want to. Go right ahead. And then work with someone who, if perhaps he's not got the creativity to do it, that's fine. Work with someone who has an idea. Yeah. Hell, I'll fucking submit mine. We can work together. But you know what I mean? Find someone who's got a bit of creativity in them, some characters, maybe an idea for a story, work together with them and produce something new. Something that you can then budget, get into theaters, get some fucking support for, and be the change you want to see. Right, Ryan?
See what he did there?
All right. And last but not least, Eris Rhoda gifted 5 more Will of the Fans memberships. Thank you very much. You know what? I never actually played a sound for Mark there, did I? For his
I can't recall.
All right. All right,
Okay.
folks, that is enough of that then. So thank you very much for watching episode 63 of WTF Live. Appreciate you all. You guys are legends. Without you, there would be no show, there would be no channel, and I would be trying to fucking get a job in some English school again or something like that. Mark VV is back for another 2. What the fuck? It's going crazy. Oh, he's making it rain. Okay, try it then. Mark van Vlaanderen.
Yeah.
How
Vlaanderen.
close was I?
Van Vlaanderen? Yeah, it seems
Vlaanderen.
seems right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, I'm right. I'm usually right about these kinds of things.
Well, I think
Shout
it's
out
like
to
a-
the Dutch dealing
yeah.
with the Moroccans.
yeah,
Lawn-
actually,
Valandrian. Yeah, I'm thinking
I
law.
wish they would sort some of their politics out over there. I wouldn't mind going and settling there for a few years. Not bad, thank you. So yeah, actually, the missus wants to go there too. She went there once before, and I worked in Amsterdam for quite a while. So that was good. For a few days actually, on a few occasions. So that was good. But there you go. That's enough from me. It's time for the show to wrap up. So let's begin our outro, starting with John Boy. How you doing, man?
Indeed. Oh, well, you know, I've got not too much going on for the rest of the day, which is not a bad thing. Be kind of nice. But tomorrow is Wednesday. Ryan and I are planning on doing a episode of Rising Star, so everybody should keep an eye for when that comes out. It'll probably be midday, I would imagine. And then we'll be back here again on Thursday morning to do all this fun stuff one more time, and I will regale everybody with more silliness. But for now, I just say safe travels ahead. Have a wonderful week going forward. Be awesome as always.
Super. Lovely. Short but sweet. Ryan?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching episode 63 of WTF Live. Thank you, Will, for hosting this fantastic show. Great to see John has, for the first time, debuted a GIF logo. Not a gift logo. Talk about a blooper. That's the first time I've ever seen a creator do that. So, yeah.
What's cool about this is I've had it for like 20 years almost. Maybe 15.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm actually
you've had
I'm
gray hair
young John
for
here.
20
This is when I was working at the porn shop. When I talk about being salad, would you buy dildos from this man?
No.
Yes, you would.
I wouldn't
Maybe
buy
not you,
drugs
but
from
someone.
this man.
You actually look exactly like the kind of
Yeah.
guy who works in a porn shop.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. That's why I was
Kinda
like
like,
my boogeyman sex mechanic. I was
you know,
that guy.
Right.
You know the Simpsons army surplus shop?
Hmm.
The guy who works there, I can't think of the character's name. It's like Herman or something.
Yeah. I know
Oh,
who you're talking about.
It's Herman. Yeah.
Right.
He he looks exactly like the kind of guy be working in an army surplus shop.
Yeah.
You look exactly like the kind
Oh
of guy
yeah,
who works in
yeah.
a porn
And
shop.
believe me, like the effect, like I leaned into it. Like this is clearly like, you know, like I'm not
Just look as skeezy as possible, yeah.
You try. You gotta live up to like, you know, the
John
slop.
had gray hair 15 to 20 years ago, folks. The point is, if you haven't already, go and check out Ryan Rogerath, host and founder of Reality Based. You're seeing me in 480p, as you always do on videos
No one
and
wants
shows.
higher resolution.
Mr. 480p. No videos for today, but expect plenty of videos, plenty of shows, and plenty of videos from said shows, including tomorrow, a Rising Stars showcase of I'm planning for a sexy female Rising Star showcase. So we can
Yeah.
showcase all the lovely female creators, and
Is
some
it
of them might
Unicade?
be no, but some of them might be a bit spicy, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just say that. Yeah, the thumbnail's going to be
You'll
lit.
go far without your bra.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it takes to be a
right.
female rising star. now to Will.
You can keep that. You can keep that one. It just came to me in a
Oh.
vision. A nice vision. Anyway, yes, thank you everybody. Appreciate you all for checking out the show and staying with us. Special thanks, of course, to our mods and of course also to Mud Crab, TJ Steve, James Up, Tommy Majors Guild, James Up, and Phantom Wars, as well as Mark Van Vlaanderen. I don't know if I said that right. And Eris Rhoda for your kind donations. I am kind of trying to fuck it up and sound a bit like a sheep when I say it there, Mark. I don't want to know what it would sound like if I was being, real, actually trying. I have to practice a few times first. I'm that guy who Googles everybody's name that I might have to say in an article before I actually read the article in a video, just to make sure I don't fuck up the pronunciation. So you caught me live this time. Anyway, that is the end of this episode. I appreciate everybody for watching, and we will be back with another episode. If I can do it in this state, I can definitely do it on Thursday. On WoTF Live. Tomorrow, I will be doing, the plan is, anyway, to do the member stream that was supposed to happen yesterday, because I obviously couldn't do it yesterday. So it'll be same time as this, and same rules as I already established. So make sure you're around to check that out if you're a member. If not, join the Grift Force. I think it's like $1.40 or something to become a member of this channel per month. So it doesn't cost very much. You get a lot of benefits from it, and of course you can come in and tell me what to do.
And you get to be a spear chucker.
And you can be a spear chucker. That's right. Chuck them spears. Spears in the chats. Trump's in the chat, and Ryan's in the chat, and Boobies in the chat, and Bollocks in the chat, and everything else that I have in the chat. And we'll be back. One more thing. There's a video coming out in approximately 3 hours from now. It's a Doctor Who video for the first time in about a week or two. So if you're a Doctor Who person who is subbed to the channel, make sure you're around then and don't miss it. It's about Stephen Moffat being just as useless as ever, actually explaining the things he gets criticized for. So enjoy that. And we'll be back on Thursday. But until then, nothing else to do but wave rather stupidly at the camera and say, see you next time.
Bye for now.
Take care.
Pasta, pasta. Safe travel.
Morality, and now we're facing me as mortality. They lost the plot, we'll take a stand. These corporations must perish when we claim our land. Enough is enough, we've drawn the line. We'll take back our stories of spark divine. The will of